session by Talent Sprint. So as you all know, today we are going to be discussing challenging aptitude questions, right? Which most of the students fail to answer correctly. So that's the topic of discussion today. So I'm sure all of you are preparing really hard for your first IT job, right? And we all know that the most important or the clearing the aptitude test is the major hurdle when you go for a interview, right? So most of when you look at the IT job selection process, most of the companies, the first step, you clear the aptitude, it is 80% assured that your job is ready, right? Unless they generally have a normal HR interview. After that, you are selected directly. But why is it that most of the students fail these aptitude tests? Is it because the test is really tough? No, right? All the questions that come in the test are mostly the questions that we have learned in our high school maths, like high school maths, let it be maths, verbal, advanced reasoning, everything is what you have learned in your high school, right? But again, why do we fail in these tests? It's because, see, the same test, let's say in the test there are 60 questions. If I give you 3 hours to answer these questions, I'm sure all of us will answer it correctly, right? And we'll all score really good marks. But the issue here is the time constraint that is given, right? Within the given time, let's say for each question, mostly you'll be given 1 minute. In that 1 minute's time, you should be able to answer the question correctly, right? So it is the speed and accuracy that matters when it comes to an aptitude test. So today I am going to be taking you through some questions which students generally find it difficult when it is asked in the aptitude test. See, the major reason is not because the questions involve some really high concept, it's very high concept oriented, no. The only thing that you need to answer these questions, you just require the basic conceptual knowledge. That's enough. The most important thing is you should know how to approach these questions, right? The approach is the one that is always creating the issue. So let us look at some really good questions which generally students fail to answer correctly, and let us see how we can approach these questions, right? So that we are able to solve these questions in the stipulated time. So I think we start the session, right? So let me share my screen with you. See, as and when I go, if you don't understand the problem, please ping me. So I am always here to help you, right? Or if you are not able to view the screen, any issues that you have, please let me know through chat. And this is as you all know, this is an aptitude session. So I want you all to keep your pen and paper ready. As the question appears, try to solve it along with me, right? Okay, so there are 2 people who have joined already. Guru is there, Mohana is there. Hi Guru, hi Mohana. Welcome to the session. So let's get started. So let me share my screen with you. See you all. So we are going to start solving some questions. And let's see how to go about each question, right? Now, the first topic today we are going to discuss is cryptarithms. Right? So, like when I train students, most of them say, "Oh my God, cryptarithms, ma'am, it's so difficult. We are not able to solve it. We don't like in 1 minute's time. How do you expect us to solve such a question, right?" So, see, the most important thing is in cryptarithms is you should always look at what is given in the question and try to find some clues, right? That will definitely help you in making your calculations faster. Okay, first tell me what is a cryptarithm? A cryptarithm is a mathematical puzzle where numbers are replaced by alphabets, right? And you have to find the corresponding number to each alphabet. We all know this, right? Now, let's take this question. Find the numerical value of roads in the cryptarithm cross plus roads is equal to danger. So, hi Shivani, I think you Shivani, hi Roshan. Okay, a lot of people are joining. Hi. So you are all on the right side, Shivani. I think you can just play the YouTube link and you will be able to see the video. Hi Roshan, hi Rashmi. Okay, so first we are going to start today's session with a cryptarithmic question. Let's see how to approach cryptarithmic questions, right? You know the right approach, the answer will be very easy. Okay. Now, see, first let us see cross plus road is giving you danger, right? That is the result. Now, what is the first thing that I note here? See, I see S plus S. When I am adding the alphabet S plus S is giving me R, right? Now, from this, what can I say? I can say that, see, when I am adding 2 numbers, I am getting a number. Now, we all know that, let us assume the 2 numbers are 2, right? It is 2. 2 plus 2 is what? 2 plus 2 is 4. Now, if the 2 numbers were 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, right? If the 2 numbers were 4, 4 plus 4 is 8. What is a common pattern that you see here? See, when you add two same numbers, the resultant will always be an even number. So now from the given information, what can you say about the value of r? We can say that r will always be an even number. Right? That is the first conclusion that I am making. Now look at the options given. Which is the even number here? Obvious, right? R. See, here we have to find the corresponding value of rows, right? Now in rows means here we have to find the numerical value of rows. Here we already know that R is an even number. Now in which of these options R is an even number? See, option B and option D, both are possible. And I can clearly say option A and option C are not correct. So I've already eliminated two options, right? Now I am left with two options. Now I have to narrow down on which option is correct. Now see, cross has how many letters in it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Roads has how many letters in it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The result that you get, danger, has 6 letters in it. So what does that mean? See, when you add C and R, you get A and there is a carry, right? That carry is represented as D. Okay. Now, what can you say about carries? See, the value of a carry in any addition, value of a carry will always be equal to 1. How do I say this? See, what is the maximum value C and R can have? The maximum value C and R can have is 9, right? So 9 plus 9 is 18. Now let us assume in the previous step also there is a carry. Even if there is a carry in the previous step, the result that you get will be 9 plus 9, 18 plus 1, 19. Again, the value of D is 9 and the carry is 1. So the maximum value of carry will always be equal to 1. So I can directly say that the value of D is equal to 1. Now since I know the value of R and D, I can just look at the options now, right? I've got two values. So in which of these options does D have the value 1? Option B. So the answer for this question is option B. See, generally, if you try to solve a cryptarithmetic problem, it will take you at least 10 to 12 minutes to solve this full puzzle, right? If you have to find the value of all the given alphabets, right? But in the exam, you should also you will also know that you will have at least only 1 or maximum 2 minutes for the question. So, how to approach the question in that 2 minutes is the most important thing that we should know. That is where I find a lot of students making mistakes. So, in such cases, look for the clues that is given in the question and try to eliminate as many options as possible. That is the best way you can go about in answering such questions. Right? I hope it is clear. So, as I said in today's session, I am going to be taking up questions from various topics, right? And how I am going to be telling you how you can approach these questions to be able to solve them in a faster and an accurate way, right? Okay, I hope this question is clear. Now let's move on to the next question. See, as I said, I want you all, whoever have joined, like I can see Roshan, Shivani, Rashmi, Mohan, all of you, right? Solve the question with me, and if you get the answer before me, that's really good, right? That shows that your preparation is going in the right direction. So you can post your answers as well, right? I'll acknowledge it. Now, the next question I've taken from the topic of time and distance. Time and distance is a very common topic that comes in most of the placement exams, right? So, and one has to have a very clear idea about this topic, right? Because at least 1 or 2 questions from the paper will be from this topic. Generally, in all the exams, you can see questions on time and distance. Now, let us read this question. One train runs from A to B at 105 miles per hour. The other runs from B to A at 85 miles per hour. How far apart were the two trains 30 minutes prior to their crossing? So, what is given in the question? There are 2 places, right? There are 2 places, A and B. So, there is one train that is running from A to B at a speed of 105 miles per hour, right? Miles per hour. So, and there is another train that is running from B to A at a speed of 85 miles per hour. Now, we have to find, before 30 minutes of them meeting, how far are they apart? Now, this question again looks like it's complicated or challenging, but it is very easy if you know the concept behind it. So, what is the concept that is used here? Can any of you tell me? What is the concept that you should use here? Any of you attending the session? Okay, I suppose you're all very quiet students, right? 380 miles. No, Roshan, it's not 380 miles. Oh, it's okay. Anyway, good that you tried, right? That is how you learn. You try and try. It's okay to make mistakes. Yes, you use relative speed concept. Exactly. You use relative speed concept here, right? So, Roshan, you are right. Relative speed concept is what we are going to use. So, in relative speed, what do you know? See, if there are two objects moving in the opposite direction, the resultant speed is always equal to the sum of the speeds of the two objects, right? That's what you consider. So, I can say that the relative speed of A and B, that is both the trains put together, is 105 plus 85, right? That is equal to 190 miles per hour. Right? Now, this question is actually a very simple question. It's just a question that you need to solve in one step. You can solve in just one step. Right? Now, see, what is the rate of speed? It is 190 miles per hour. So, put together, both the trains in 1 hour, they are covering 190 miles. Right? Now, before meeting, in the last 1 hour also, they will cover 190 miles. Is that correct? Now, just before last 30 minutes, how much would be left? 190 divided by 2. That would be the distance between them, right? See, they are covering 190 miles in 1 hour. So, now let us say they are going to meet in the next 1 hour. So, the distance between them is 190 miles. So, if half an hour is completed, they would have covered half of that, right? So, what is the distance between them now? 190 divided by 2. Right? So, this question is so easy, right? You can just do it in like 1 second or 2 seconds if you know the concept. So 95 miles apart, they will be half an hour before crossing. I hope this is clear, right? See, why I am like doing these questions today is that these questions are actually very easy, but they look very challenging. It is the approach that students generally miss out on. Okay, let us say, see, I have trained around 25,000 students, and I find that most of them make mistakes in these questions in the beginning, right? So, and what you need most importantly is practice. When you solve such questions, with practice you will know how to approach each type of question. Now, let us move on to our next question. So, the next question, okay, now this is a very interesting question. So, a spiral is made up of successive semicircles with centers alternately at A and B, starting with center A of radii 0.5 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 1.5 centimeter, 2 centimeter, and so on. What is the total length of such a spiral made up of 13 consecutive semicircles? So, how do you solve this question? So first let us try and represent this in the form of a diagram. See, this question is basically from the topic of, I would say this is a mixture of topic of mensuration and series, right? So let us see how to do it. Okay. Now there is a spiral that is made of semicircles, right? With centers, okay, first center it. See, that is how the spiral is, right? How do you represent a spiral? This is how you represent a spiral of semicircles. Right? So it's going on like that. Let it continue, right? Now what is given? See, the radius is here 0.5, right? Then the next semicircle is what? The next semicircle is this one, right? The radius is 1 centimeter, and the next semicircle radius is this, right? 1.5 centimeters, and so on. Okay. Now, what is the concept that you use here? See, what is the circumference of a circle? Circumference of a circle is given by 2 pi r, right? Now, what is this? This is a semicircle. So, what is the circumference of a semicircle? The circumference of a semicircle is given by pi into r, right? Now, let us take the first spiral. So, what have they asked? They have asked the total length of all such spiral made up of 13 consecutive semicircles. So, total length is nothing but the circumference. See, circumference is this, right? This length is circumference. So, the total length is nothing but the circumference of the spiral. So, So we have to find the sum of all the circumferences of the spiral that we are going to make. So what is the circumference of the first spiral or the first semicircle? It is nothing but pi into 0.5. Right? What is the circumference of the next spiral that is made? Pi into 1. The next one, pi into 1.5. Right? Like this, there are 13 spirals that we are making. So totally we have 13 such terms, right? That we write. Or here the pi we can take it, right? It is common. So I can take it out and I can write this expression as 0.5 plus 1 plus 1.5 extending it to 13 terms. Right? Now, what can you talk about this series? See, it's like in a arithmetic progression. Right? So, arithmetic progression means there is a constant difference between each number in the given series. Right? See, the first term, how do you say? See, again, arithmetic progression is something which we have learned in school. Okay? Let me just brush you up on that. See, the series will be of this format. The first term is A, the next term will be A plus D, the next term will be A plus 2D, and so on. Right? Now, what is the sum to n terms of an arithmetic series? Again, this we have learned. The sum to n terms of an arithmetic series is given by n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Right? So, what is the sum of all these 13 terms? It is nothing but pi into n by 2. Here, how many terms are there? 13 terms are there. 13 by 2 into, what is the first term? 0.5, right? Plus 13 minus 1. What is the difference between each term in this? 1 minus 0.5 is 0.5. 1.5 minus 1 is 0.5. The difference will be always common, right? So this is equal to, now pi you can write it as 22 by 7, right? Into 13 by 2 into, within brackets, 2 into 0.5 is 1 plus 12 into 0.5 is 6, right? That is equal to 22 by 7 into 13 by 2 into 7, right? That is equal to 11 into 13, or that is equal to 143, right? So the total length of the spiral that you get this way is 143 centimeters. Now, even though, see, since I am explaining and writing this, it is, we are taking some time, but actually such questions you will be able to complete in 1 minute's time, right? So I hope this question is clear. Let's move on to the next question. Now, see, I hope you should be aware of tests like e-litmus, right? So, in e-litmus and all, what they do is they actually look at the conceptual knowledge of the student, right? See, there are a lot of shortcuts that you can follow, but concept is equally important. Now, look at this question. This is a very interesting question. So, this was once came in an e-litmus test. So, a boy starts adding consecutive natural numbers starting with 1. After some time, he reaches a total of 1000 when he realizes that he has made a mistake of double counting one number. Find the number that he has double counted. So, how do you do this question? See, now what are they given? He is adding numbers, right? Numbers from 1, 2, etc. He is keeping on adding. He has added a number of numbers, and the answer that he is getting is 1000. And he suddenly stops there. And he has realized that, okay, I have made a mistake somewhere. I have added in one of the numbers 2 times. So we have to find out which is the number that he has added twice. So first thing, what do you know? Like when such a question is asked, what is the thing that we know? See, we know that the sum of first n natural numbers, right? The sum of first n natural numbers is given by n into n plus 1 by 2, right? This is one basic formula that all of us know, right? This is the only thing that we know, and with this formula we have to find the value. Now, how do I approach this question? Okay, let me just randomly think of a number. Let me just think of 50. Okay, let us assume that he is adding the first 50 natural numbers and he is getting a sum of. Okay, so what will his answer be? If he is adding the first 50 natural numbers, what will his answer be? Which is first 50 natural numbers will be 50 into 51 by 2. right? That would be the result. So that is approximately somewhere 2500 divided by 2, and that would be like 1250, basically greater than 1000. The result is basically greater than 1000. So 50 cannot be your answer, right? Now let us look at 40. Okay, if we counting the first 40 natural numbers, what would be the answer? 40 into 41 divided by 2, right? I can say that is 1640 divided by 2, right? That is equal to 820. Okay, so now what can I say? See, I can say the number of natural numbers that he has added is somewhere between 40 and 50, right? Because if he is adding the first 50 natural numbers, his answer has gone greater than 1000. If he is adding the first 40 natural numbers, his answer is 820, right? So we can directly no, okay, we know this, right? Now, the sum of the first 40 natural numbers is 820, okay? Now, what is the sum of the first 41 natural numbers? 820 plus 41. Next natural number 42, right? That will give you how much? 3, 10, 903. Now, next plus 43 plus 44, right? So, what will that give you? 10, 990, right? So now what is the answer? See, this is the closest answer to 1000 that you have got, right? So now what can you say? He has got 1000, right? So if you add the first 44 natural numbers, you will get 990. If you are adding the first 45 natural numbers, the answer would be greater than 1000. So he has got 1000 means his difference in the correct answer is 10, right? So what is the number? He should actually have gotten 990. Basically, he has tried to add 44 natural numbers and his answer should be 990, but he got 1000. So what is the number that he has counted twice? It's nothing but 1000 minus 990, that is equal to 10. So the number that he has counted by mistake twice is 10. This is how you arrive at the answer. Is it clear to all of you? So the more and more you practice such questions, you will get an idea as to how to solve these questions. Alright? So next question. Now I want you all, whoever is attending this session, to try out this question, right? See, number series questions are, yeah, hi Roshan, yes, correct. See, practice is very important. Like if you are a talent screen student, then you would know, we provide you with workbooks, topic assessments, subject tests, right? Why do we provide you so much material? Because you have to practice, then only you will be able to crack such exam, right? The speed for solving the questions in 1 minute, that comes with practice. Okay? Now, let us look at this question. Find the odd man out. So this is, okay, Roshan is very quick. Roshan says the answer is 1. So let us see Roshan if the answer is 1 or not. Any other answers? Any other answers for what the answer would be for this question? Odd man out. Roshan, I'll wait before I give out the answer, right? All are even, but one is not. Okay, but see, okay, that is one way of looking at the series. But let us say it is not one. Okay, there is some rule that is being followed between each numbers. Try to see if there is some rule, and based on that rule, you should be able to derive the answer. Again, see the number series topic. There are different types of series that can come. Right? Depends upon the person who's setting the question paper. Okay, he can put in any series that he wants. Basically, you should have done all these different types of series to be able to identify which one it would be. Okay, fine. I'll solve it. Since I got only answer from Roshan, I'll solve it, right? So actually the pattern that is followed in this series is this. What is 1 factorial divided by 1? 1. What is 2 factorial divided by 2? 2, right? 3 factorial divided by 2. So 3 factorial divided by 3. So 2 factorial divided by 2 is 1. Okay, 1. 3 factorial divided by 3 is 2, right? 4 factorial divided by 4 is 6. 5 factorial divided by 5 is 24. Right? So this is the pattern actually that is followed in the series. So what is the odd number here? The odd number is 2. It should actually be 1. Right? I hope it is clear. Now, move on to the next question. Yeah, handshake question. So handshake problems are very common in placement exams. Okay, you see it either in the paper or this question is asked in the interview. So and there is a very basic concept that is used to solve handshake problems. If you know that, then after that you realize that handshake problems are very easy. First time, like you take this question, you teach students in a class, they will say handshake. Okay, let me think. There are two people. Let me think. There are three people, and they get confused by the time you were about solving it, right? So now let us look at this question. At a party, everyone shook hands with everybody else. There were 66 handshakes. How many people were there at the party? So let us assume that there are n people. Okay. So when handshake problem comes, always assume that there are n people in the group. Okay. Out of this n people, let us take the first person. The first person, how many people will he handshake with? First person. See, he will shake. Everybody is shaking hands with everybody else only once, right? Okay. Yeah. So the first person shakes his hands with how many people? He shakes his hands with n minus 1 people. That is excluding himself, everybody else. Right? He's shaking his hand. Now, the second person, how many people will he shake hands with? See, he will exclude himself and he has already shaken hand with the first person. Right? So, remaining there, how many people are there? N minus 2 people. So, he will shake hands with n minus 2 people. Now, next the third person, right? Now, the third person, how many people are there now? See, he has, the third person has already shaken hand with the first person and the second person. Now, he will shake hands with only n minus 3 people and so on. So, there will be one n minus 1 person, right? How many people will he shake his hands with? Only the last person will be left out, right? The last person, whoever is there in the group, is left out. And the last person, basically, he would have shaken hands with everybody. When their turn came, he would have shaken hands with everybody and no one would be left for him, right? So, 0. So, now totally how many handshakes were there? See, let us assume that all the n people are standing in a row. And the first person is cutting and shaking hands with everybody. So, he shakes hands with n minus 1 people. Now the second person is coming out from the row and he is going to shake hands with everybody once. So since he has already shaken hand with the first person, he will shake hands with the remaining people, right? Similarly, the third person, he will leave out the first two, he will shake hands with the remaining people. So that's how I have written this, right? I hope it is clear. So that when it comes to the nth person, he would have shaken hands with everybody else in the group once, right? When their corresponding turn came. So he will now have to shake hands with 0 people because he has already shaken hands with everybody when their turn came. So what is the total number of handshakes? The total number of handshakes is given by n minus 1 plus n minus 2 plus n minus 3 plus etc. plus 1 plus 0. Right? Okay. So how can I write this? Or I can say this is nothing but 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus etc. up till n minus 1. Right? I'm just reversing it and writing it. So from this, what can we say? Again, we saw what is the sum of the first n natural numbers. It is nothing but sum of the first n natural numbers is n into n plus 1 by 2. So what is the value of n here? The value of n here is n minus 1. Right? N minus 1 into n minus 1 plus 1 by 2 is equal to n into n minus 1 by 2, right? Now we know there have been 66 handshakes altogether. So n into n minus 1 is equal to 132, right? So what can be the value of n here? What can you say n would be? See, n will, if n is 11, this is, okay, if n is 12, right? Let us say n is equal to 12 means n minus 1 is equal to 11. 12 into 11 is nothing but 132, right? So I can say that how many people are there? 12 people were there in the meeting. Or how many people were there in the party? So there were 12 people in the party. So this is how you solve handshake problems. So here let the number of handshakes be anything, like anything, any other number, 132, anything. This is the way you follow for handshake problems. I hope it is clear. Now let us look at the last question for today's session. So this question, it's kind of a brain teaser, right? So I want you all to try this question on your own. Okay, Joyce has bought 10 trees for her garden. She wants to plant these trees in 5 rows with 4 trees in each row. How must Joyce plant these trees? Could you think how to approach these questions? To these questions, this question specifically, you can expect such question in interviews, right? Or like certain IT companies, they prefer to ask brain teasers in the written test, and they generally don't give you options. You have to get descriptive paper. For such IT companies, such questions or such brain teasers are useful. So, how would you approach this question? Now, don't think of any conventional ways in which you can answer. It's a bit, you have to think about it in a different way, right? So, you have 10 trees. Now, you have to place them in 5 rows with 4 trees in each row. How do you do it? Can anybody guess? Any guesses on this? How to place the trees? Permutation. Roshan, don't think of this question concept wise. As I said, this is a brain teaser, right? So, say, think of let's say a square or a triangle, right? It's some way in which one line. Even don't think of it as a row. Just think in one line there should be 4 trees. How can you place it? As I said, it's a brain teaser. This has nothing to do with quants. Generally, when such problems come, yes, we use permutation combination, but this question specifically is a brain teaser. See, such questions are really interesting, right? When you do such questions, you'll realize that, okay, these are also the types of questions that can come. And whenever a different question that you see in the test paper, you'll approach it also differently. Okay, any shape that you can think of in which if you place these trees, you get this pattern. Any shape? Okay, I'll give you the answer. So, the way in which you can do this is try to place the trees in the, see, let us assume consider a 5-pointed star. Okay, this is somewhat 5-pointed star is somewhat like this, right? So, in this, if you place the trees on the edges of the star, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. That is one row, right? Similarly, another rows, again another edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Third row. As I said, this is a brain teaser. I just took this question so that it will be interesting for us to try it out. So these are the ways. If you place it along the edges of a 5-pointed star, you get the pattern that Joyce wants. Right? Okay, I hope it's clear. Hi, Akhil. So with this, we come to the end of this session. So I hope the questions were interesting for you, right? And I hope you enjoyed the session as well. So as I said, questions are the main thing that you should know when it comes to aptitude exams. You should know how to approach these questions, right? If you know the approach, then the challenging question also becomes easy, right? And if you like our program, do join us. And there is an offer going on. There is a 40% discount going on in our products, and the offer ends tomorrow, right? It's a mega offer that is happening. So if you are interested and you like our program, do join. Else, all the very best with your preparation. Keep practicing a lot of questions, right? The more you solve and the more the different types of problems that you do, you will become better at it. And I always tell my students that you should take up a lot of mock tests, right? So you might, if you are a student of talent spirit, you will get mock tests as a part of the program, because a mock test lets you get the real feel of the test, right? How the actual test will be. So it will be given in 1 hour's time. It will be in the online platform, right? As like how actual test happens, and the Like the practice that you get will definitely be better. But otherwise, also try solving a lot of questions. Right, all the very best with your preparations. It was nice meeting you all. Thanks, Akhil, Amar, Roshan, then Mohana. Right, all of you for joining this session. All the very best. This is Gayatri. Bye for now.
Welcome to Talent Sprint. My name is Sarmishtha and I'm here to give you your daily dose of job skills. In today's video, we are going to focus on few sentences for group discussions. Now, what is a group discussion? It is one of the elimination round in the interview process where 8 to 12 participants speak about a given topic. Now, when you speak about a given topic, you have to discuss your opinions using certain sentences. You have to make sure that you are always professional while discussing about the topic.
Welcome to Talent Sprint. I'm Sylvia and I'm here to share your daily dose on job skills. In this video, we will look at 5 things that you need to avoid on your resume. Now, there are certain things that are a put off and a definite no-no. So by the end of this video, you will learn how to avoid certain things on your resume so it looks and reads good. One of the first things you need to avoid on your resume are personal pronouns.